Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 20th anniversary celebration of the Arizona Academy of the Performing Arts.
From modest beginnings 20 years ago, the Arizona Academy of the Performing Arts has served more than 5,000 young people in its mission of building great people through great performances. Using music and movement education as a foundation, members of the organization's 3 performing ensembles are challenged to reach their full potential as human beings. Students spend more than 600 hours of rehearsal time perfecting a single 12-minute show. Each summer, they travel 12,000 miles from coast to coast over the course of 3 months, competing with over 40 other elite member units of Drum Corps International. Students perform in venues such as Mile High Stadium in Denver, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, and Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, before audiences as large as 30,000. What an exciting opportunity for a student of the performing arts to be on the field representing Arizona before so many enthusiastic fans. And yet, this is only half the story. Although the Academy has enjoyed competitive success, every participant knows and believes our mantra: the effort is the prize. Taking part in our programs is physically demanding, rivaling any other sport. It requires mental discipline, a commitment to surpassing excellence, teamwork, and leadership. Young people on the threshold of adulthood emerge from our programs ready to take on the responsibilities of business and government leaders, parents, and professionals. They carry with them the attitudes and expectation of excellence in all they undertake. We and donors like you are building great people through great performances. We change lives. We are the Academy.
We're going to share with you a lot of the history of the Arizona Academy of the Performing Arts today and bring you back to the stories of the last 20 years of the organization. And we thought it would be a great idea to bring you to where it all started here at Corona del Sol High School, where we launched this organization 20 years ago. There was a small group of us. Some of us had marched drum corps in the past, and others had not. Those of us who hadn't got enough of the activity, I guess, and looked around at where drum corps were coming from and looked at our huge municipality here in the Phoenix area and thought, you know, why can't we have a drum corps here for the students of Arizona? So several of the instructors, including myself, who were teaching here at the time, and some of the boosters that were heavily involved with the booster program at Corona, sat down literally around a kitchen table and talked how we could bring a drum corps to Arizona. And that's exactly what we did. We sat down in the year 2000 and started to put together plans and incorporated in 2001. The first thing that we did was bring the activity back to Arizona for the first time, and I think it was 7 years had been absent of seeing drum corps here within the borders of Arizona. So we brought a drum corps show to Arizona, the Southwest Corps Connection. And we were fortunate to have 4 high school partners do that with us. We had Corona, of course. We had Mesquite High School, Gilbert High School, and Desert Vista High School. Those booster organizations all teamed together and pulled the resources together with their volunteers and their investment to launch the very first drum corps show of the Academy, the Southwest Corps Connection. And while the drum corps show was our first fundraising effort and first opportunity to raise awareness about the drum corps activity, which had been in absence for so long here in Arizona, it was also the first opportunity for us to gather the students, to get students excited about the activity, to start training them and preparing them for what was to become a drum and bugle corps. So we rounded up some of the most outstanding staff here in Arizona, recruited students, and launched 2 programs in that first year in 2001, the Summer Youth Guard and the Summer Brass and Percussion Ensemble. Both of these groups performed solely in exhibition at the Southwest Corps Connection that first year. And in fact, over the next 3 years, we remained as a brass percussion ensemble and a youth guard program, ever developing and growing and raising the resources, securing funding by generous donors for instruments, an individual donor campaign that we called Be Instrumental, that secured brass instruments for the organization in the 3rd year of our existence. parents of the organization started to raise money through a Memorial Day concert, for which we still perform at today, and raised money for our first set of concert percussion equipment for the eventual drum and bugle corps.
Hi, my name is Matt Stout. I am an alumni of the 2001 Arizona Academy Summer Brass and Percussion Ensemble. Now, I do not say we marched that year because we did not march. It was the very first summer. It was just a standstill brass and percussion ensemble, hence the name. I was in the baritone section. I am now currently a public school band and orchestra teacher in Tucson, Arizona, and I also direct the Old Pueblo British Brass Band here in Tucson. My favorite experience from 2001 was getting to play the classic ballad, When a Man Loves a Woman. I'd never been in a group of brass players that large before, and hence I didn't realize how powerful a sound could be created by a large brass ensemble. There's also no musical experience quite like getting to just grip it and rip it while you're blowing doors down in a horn line. A couple memories that I have from that season that really stick out to me was just, in all honesty, looking around the horn line and seeing how woefully young and inexperienced we were. This included the entire low brass section wilting under the weight of our horns every rehearsal, and at least half of the baritone line struggling that season with using valves because they were trombone players who didn't know they didn't get to play trombone anymore. In those early years, we were also incredibly fortunate to have Sam Palafian and Patrick Sheridan bring their breathing gym to us live and in person. My words of advice for new members to the Academy is to prepare to have your life changed. I definitely credit my participation in Drum and Bugle Corps with being the thing that helped me grow from being just a kid interested in music to being an adult with the discipline and mindset needed to learn and master any skill. I know my life would not be the same today if it were not for Mark Richardson's vision of building great people through great performances.
At the end of the first 3 years, we were called a brass and percussion ensemble and a youth guard, and we had petitioned to become a drum and bugle corps in 2004, and we didn't have a name. We didn't know what we were going to call ourselves. So we asked the community what they thought we should be called. This was an opportunity to create a drum and bugle corps, and this name was going to be the name of the organization and the program in perpetuity. So it was a pretty big deal. And we casted a wide net and asked people, fans and parents and volunteers, and certainly the performing members, to throw in their thoughts. And then we narrowed it down to the three top choices. In some form, somehow we voted. I don't even remember how it happened, but the three choices were this. They were the Academy, Maroon Monsoon, and Sonoran Sound were the top three drum corps names that were going to be the eventual drum corps of Tempe, Arizona. And of course, I think in hindsight, Sonoran Sound, it sounds a little boring to me. That sounds like a snoozer, right? And Maroon Monsoon, it just doesn't roll off the tongue well enough. So whoever came up with those names, kudos that you made it to the top three, but I think we stuck with the Academy based on the Arizona Academy of the Performing Arts. And I think that was a wise choice. In particular, we chose the Arizona Academy of the Performing Arts because we always wanted to have an educational focus. We always wanted to think about the organization providing the best in quality education and professional experiences that we could provide, and opportunities to learn from the best and be a part of the best. So all of the staff that we had involved, just about every one of us had marched in a drum corps before. And this was obviously our first effort at trying to put a drum corps together. So at the end of the third season, we knew that we had petitioned to become a drum corps in 2004. We knew that's where it was going. In one of the final rehearsals of the Summer Brass Percussion Ensemble, we got to sit down. Man, I get emotional about this stuff. In one of the last rehearsals that we had with the Brass Percussion Ensemble, we sat the group down, and all of the staff had their drum corps jerseys on, or not jerseys, their drum corps tour jackets on that day. And at that point in time, the students, I'm not even sure they knew what the name was going to be of the drum corps. And they hadn't seen the logo that we put together that Mike Evans, one of our percussion instructors, had actually designed for us. And what we decided to do was we said, hey, we put our jackets on and then unveiled the tour jacket, the corps jacket, and the logo. We took our old corps jackets off and put the Academy jackets on, turned around and showed the membership what their organization was going to be, that this is the Academy Drum and Bugle Corps. And coming in 2004, hop on board and here we go. And that was the start. After what seemed like an incredibly long 3 years of growing and waiting and developing as a brass and percussion ensemble and a summer youth guard program, we felt we were ready to take that next step of becoming a drum and bugle corps. So we petitioned to Drum Corps International to become a Division II unit, and were accepted towards that idea to become the Academy Drum and Bugle Corps in 2004. We had instruments now. We had a uniform design that was being worked on. We had students that were bought into the idea of becoming the Academy Drum Bugle Corps. We had the staff collected. We had the volunteer support. And we had some experience in touring with this little brass percussion ensemble, having taken a couple weekend trips to watch drum corps rehearse and watch them compete, and to give those students the mindset of what it's like to tour. So we had a very base level understanding of what it was like to be a drum corps, but we didn't have a color guard. So the staff that was going to be involved with the drum corps color guard thought it would be a great idea to develop the Academy Independent Winter Guard. So 2004 was the first year we launched the Academy Independent Winter Guard, which kickstarted the training and the recruitment and the buy-in to the Academy as an institution where color guard students could participate in. And once we had finally developed that last piece for the drum corps, we were ready to go.
The Arizona Academy of the Performing Arts offers 2 introductory programs for students ages 5 to 14, the Academy Summer Youth Guard and the Academy Winter Youth Guard. The Summer Youth Guard program began in 2001 and gives performers the opportunity to spend a few weeks over the summer learning a short routine. The Guard will then perform their new show in front of a crowd of thousands at Drums Across the Desert, hosted by the Academy Drum and Bugle Corps. The Winter Youth Guard program began in 2004, and it typically lasts from January until April. Now, during this season, performers learn a longer routine that is performed multiple times at competitions hosted by Winter Guard Arizona. Both programs have the goal of teaching the fundamentals of color guard equipment and movement, and because the age range of our performers varies widely, the Youth Guard staff works hard to provide age and skill level appropriate instruction so that each performer can learn at the pace that best suits them. Students spend time developing their technique with dance, flag, rifle, and saber. Now, learning these skills at an early age not only helps prepare students for their high school programs in the future, the Youth Guard programs strive to help our performers build confidence, character, self-esteem, and a love for the activity. Many of our Youth Guard alumni have gone on to perform with their high school and college programs. Some have even joined competitive teams at the independent level through Winter Guard International and Drum Corps International.
So we spent a lot of time here at the Tempe Sports Complex, where the last 15 years our programs have been rehearsing. And 15 years ago, these trees weren't as big as they are today, and there was a lot less shade to go around. So we really earned our stripes in those first 3 years as a Division II Drum and Bugle Corps with the Academy. Lots of memories, but I want to recall one in particular. If you can imagine, after really at the time that we took the field in competition for the very first time, almost 4 years in development of putting this together, and all the work and all the foresight, the volunteerism, the training, and the anticipation for that moment that we would take the field. We were extremely prepared. We were, we knew that there's only one chance to make a first impression with the drum corps. So we made sure to have the music and the drill, and we were learning it like in January and February, and we were ready to go, with the exception of one thing. While we were borrowing a lot of things still in that time, we didn't own everything. We were borrowing bibbers, we were borrowing shakos and plumes from Corona del Sol High School again. We did have new jackets ordered, the red coats that we wore for the first 7 years. They weren't going to be ready for us by the time we took the field in competition for the first time. And when we learned that, okay, if you can imagine, no, what are we going to do? Fortunately, the color guard, thanks to Peter and the staff, that they were prepared with their uniforms. We actually had enough kids that had their tour jackets, and staff included at the time were purchasing the tour jackets. And so what we did was we decided to kind of, those kids who didn't have the jackets, the color guard lent them their jacket to wear. We had enough that all the brass percussion could have the corps jackets in uniform. And that's what we did. The very first uniform for the Academy Drum Bugle Corps was the corps jacket. And so it's kind of nice to think that every time a current member puts on that corps jacket, it's actually the very first uniform of the organization. And for that reason, it's a very special piece of garment that probably won't change ever. So that was pretty exciting and interesting. And in the moment, it was a little bit disappointing. But now, when you look back at that 17 years later, or whatever, it's kind of a special thing for us. But I want to just recall that first moment in Stockton, California. So fortunate that we were in that venue for the first time. You know, this is not a small stadium, and so it's the very first performance out of the gate for the drum corps, anticipating this over 4 years, marching out onto that field in this huge grandstands that our Arizona kids were just not used to, in front of a drum corps crowd who knows what drum corps is, and performing at University of Pacific Stadium, which is not actually there anymore, in Stockton, California. And I just remember the announcer announcing, and this is the very first performance of the Academy Drum and Bugle Corps. And then the crowd just kind of perked up.
By the way, we might mention that tonight you're here for the Academy's first performance ever.
And we hyped to the kids so much about make sure that opening hit hits, and so that you're staking your flag in the ground and declaring that Academy's here and here to stay. There's only one chance to make that first impression, and this is it. Woo! And all that anticipation for that moment. And when I go back and listen to that recording, it was raucous. It was raw, and we went for it. It was not the purest sounds, and it wasn't the most vertically aligned, but dang it, we put it all out there. And it was a moment that those who were there and who were on the field or in the stands remember the crowd reacting after that first hit. Those students had never heard a crowd, especially from the field level, and to have them react after that first impact and hear the roar come back to them. I think if you ask any one of the members that were on the stands there, they just kind of took them aback, and it had them take a step back. And I don't know if it scared them. It certainly left a mark on their soul for sure. We'll never forget that moment. From that moment on, it really was, here we are, we made it.
Hello everyone, my name is Brandon Burr, coming to you live from my backyard in what seems to be about 3.5 months of quarantine. I was an inaugural member of the 2001 season for the Academy, known back then as the Academy Brass and Percussion Ensemble of the organization Arizona Academy in the Performing Arts. And I was grateful to be a member of that first season. And I have a few memories I'd like to share with you today. I was a part of the trumpet section for not only the 2001 but also the 2002 successive season. Back then, something that I appreciated was that we were a non-marching ensemble. At that point, it was really just concert arcs and digging into the music. And so we were always in arc formation, never a beat in marching at all. But it was an exhilarating time of no marching. My advice to new members, and really any member or staff or really any alumnus as well, is just to piggyback on what Mark Richardson, I believe, still instructs to this day and what was ingrained in my soul way back when. His words of, it's not about the destination, it's more the journey. The journey is the prize, right? And I believe that vernacular is still used in the ensemble today. There was a 19th century Danish philosopher, I think Kierkegaard was his name or something around there. He had a similar sentiment when he says, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards, right? Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. I love that sentiment, and it really digs down into what you are really defined to as a character, is all those times and those moments leading up through the journey that define you as a character. And certainly drum corps provides that discipline and gumption, really. So thank you, Arizona Academy. Thank you, Mark Richardson. Thank you to all the friends and contacts and colleagues that I've met over the year. This has been really exciting to put together a little video and share my worth. And I wish all of you well. And here's to 2021 and getting back out on that field. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Hello. Wow, we are actually here. Can we believe it? It's been forever, and we're actually here talking about drum corps, doing drum corps, and getting so excited about everything that's about to come this summer. Thank you to everyone who is here and with us, and for being loyal fans and patrons to the Arizona Academy of the Performing Arts. My name is Lindsay Vinto, and I proudly serve as the Artistic Director and Program Coordinator for the Academy Drum and Bugle Corps. Just like so many who dealt with heartbreak and almost a grieving period, right? As pageantry and drum corps is what we do and what we love. And we had to pause work and pause momentum and what we had been so passionately working on for the 2020 season. So we're so excited to be here. We believed in everything that we were doing so much, and it truly was a heartbreak to know that we wouldn't be able to share that art with the entire world in 2020, but here we are. So once a 2021 summer and season started to become a reality, I knew instantly that the production that we had felt so passionately about needed to get dusted off and back into action, pick it up off the shelf, put it right back into play. I knew that this summer would look different. We all did. We knew that we wouldn't be able to potentially produce the idea to its fullest extent and in the way that we had dreamed it all to be, but we also knew that we desperately wanted to share it with the entire world, and we wanted to give the returning vets who had already been working on the production. You know, we had a couple of in-person camps before everything kind of came to a halt. And so we wanted to give those vets an opportunity to really see it through. They were so excited about it when we started it, and we wanted to give them that opportunity because at the end of the day, the members are our first and foremost priority. So we are ecstatic to present to the world this summer our production entitled Exposed. Through this program, we will showcase the life, the art, the hills and the valleys, and the genius mind and creative ways of Andy Warhol. Andy was a leading figure of the visual art movement, known as pop art, as most of us know and most of you recognize when you see it, as well as the founder and cover illustrator for Interview magazine. He actually founded his New York studio, known as The Factory, became the hangout and gathering place for artists, actors, film directors, socialites, you name it. Everybody was there. As I learn about him, I always find that interesting. It's such a juxtaposition of what he was so obsessed with fame, and he photographed and filmed and made short films in The Factory, and who he featured on his Interview magazine. And he appeared to be so obsessed with that fame. But what was interesting is that he himself was known to be quite the introvert in many situations. You'll find many interviews, and some that we will be using in the program, where he just has one word answers. It's that spotlight and that force that, he just fought against the need to constantly put himself out there in the forefront. And so that recluse nature of Andy Warhol and the juxtaposition of the brightness and the eclectic nature of his art, I find so interesting. His life also had some really deep valleys and emotional turmoil, which we will capture in our program. We will try to capture as best as we could respect him in our program, specifically following the near fatal shooting that almost took his life in his own studio. The program title Exposed has various meanings. It plays to the reference of film and his art, but it also to our efforts to expose the side of Andy that most didn't see on a regular basis, and most today don't hear when speaking of the pop art movement leader.
So we've had the first 3 years as a brass and percussion ensemble and summer youth guard, exhibition units, embryonic versions of what's to come, developing and growing and training. And then the next 3 years as a Division II drum and bugle corps, an academy independent winter guard, summer youth guard, and then adding an academy winter youth guard program as well at that time. Here we are 7 years in, and fortunate to be accepted into the ranks of Division I for the Academy Drum and Bugle Corps. And for the next 14 years, growing and evolving, and hundreds of performances for the programs that have come and gone through the organization. And in 2014, adding another large ensemble to the program offerings here at the Academy, Phenom, at the time Phenom Sound Sport. And then just recently for that organization, in 2020, being accepted as an open class drum and bugle corps, so the second drum and bugle corps within the organization. Unfortunately, weren't able to take the field last season due to reasons that you are well aware of. Looking forward to see them come to the field as a drum bugle corps in 2022. And we're going to let some of those memories be shared by some alumni for you today. So I'm not going to take you through it all, but needless to say, 20 years in, couldn't be prouder of where we've come from within the organization. Looking back, stepping foot at the Tempe Sports Complex here and reliving some of those memories has been really pretty special. So thank you for joining me, and enjoy the rest of the presentation today.
Greetings! My name is Lauren Bessich, and I was a drum major for the Arizona Academy in 2003 and 2005, which means if you do the math, some of you weren't even born. That's how old I am. Okay, I'm going to talk about the 2005 season. The show was, I believe, a piano concerto, but it had 5 parts, 3 high energy parts, and then 2 ballads. And ballads are my jam. I love ballads. I will conduct a ballad any day of the week. So part D was my fave, and the color guard for this part had green practice flags that they had used. And we were on tour in California, I believe. And we were doing either a run through, I think it was a run through. I don't think it was a performance. Again, I could be wrong. And they didn't tell anybody that they got their show flags. So they come out for part D, and the flags are purple. The most beautiful color purple you've ever seen. And there's this part in part D it's the climactic part, and the color guard, they take their flags. Well, it looks like one flag, but it is in fact 2 flags. And during that big part, they separate the flags, and it was like a burst of purple butterflies all over the field, and it was gorgeous. It was so beautiful that I got a little emotional during it. And that, I think, will go down as one of my favorite things ever. Okay, so 2 actual pieces of advice would be to bring an air mattress to sleep on. I did not do that, and now I depend on my chiropractor way too much. And second, take your shower during dinner break. That's when I would take mine, and it was great because it was nice and refreshing after being outside all day long. The lines were shorter, and you just overall got a better shower. So those are my tips, tricks. Cool cats and kittens.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Crow, and I've been volunteering on the food truck for the Academy since 2018. But my history with this vehicle goes way before that. Because in 1979, I was a member of the Freelancers Drum Corps from California, and I ate from this same food truck as a member of the Freelancers. So this food truck has been serving kids from Drum Corps for decades. It's time for a new food truck. Thank you.
This food trailer's been in service for the Academy 15 years now. We've actually purchased this unit in 2005 from the Sacramento Freelancers, who had been a drum corps, not in operation for several years, and certainly this unit was in operation for many, many years. I don't even know how many years before. So this unit is well over 40 years old, and it's time for an upgrade. Why, you say? It looks like a perfectly good trailer to me, and it has been. It has served us well. In the time that we've owned it, we've replaced the generator, we've replaced both ovens, we put a safety door in the back, we've replaced the refrigeration unit probably 6 times, or repaired it maybe a dozen times. Every single year that refrigeration unit needs a little love, and we're crossing our fingers that it makes it to the finish line. This unit is actually 40 feet long, which seems pretty large, but when it was made for a drum corps of 128 members. And now today, and under Drum Corps International rules, you can be as large as 154 performers, plus the alternates that we take on the road, plus the robust numbers of staff and volunteers that it takes to put a modern drum corps on the road. Quite simply, it's just not large enough to support the amount of food that we need to feed on a regular basis, sometimes 4 meals a day throughout the summer. So we're looking at a 53-foot trailer that gives us an additional 13 feet in length, and then those units are actually a little bit wider, so maximizing the cubic footage there, allowing us to store more food so that we don't have to have so many food drops. Right now we have to get an order from Cisco about every 4 days because it can only hold so much. The refrigeration units are actually, it is a walk-in refrigerator, but the freezer unit is not. It's just a little reach-in freezer. And while we've repaired the generator and we've repaired the ovens and had so much work from our volunteers to keep this thing going, and this unit doesn't have any air conditioning, and if you can imagine cooking meals in the heat of the summer in Arizona and Texas and the South, it gets pretty brutal when you've got ovens at full steam on there. So we'd like to improve the working environment for our volunteers and our lead staff in that area. But most of all, by getting a new food trailer, it's going to greatly improve the quality of life of the performer, the members that we serve. We're building great people through great performances in our organization, and we hold to the highest standards what we can provide for those students. And while this beauty has served us really well over the years, we have a long way to go in that area, and your support today and ongoing, if you can give just a small amount, if you can give a large amount, that would be so appreciative and help us to get us down the road with this project, and hopefully by 2022 have a new food trailer serving the students of the Academy.
Hi there, I'm Eric Weingartner, and I was a member of the Academy from 2002 through 2008 on baritone and euphonium.
And I'm Kelly Weingartner, formerly Kelly Minor, and I marched the Academy from 2007 through 2009 on trumpet.
We're talking about the 2007 season today. And I have to tell you, one of the best things to set up the 2007 season was the drum corps Esperanza folding. Because if they hadn't had done that, I would have met Kelly. And here we are, 13 years later, still married. So that was maybe the best thing that happened before that season. And along with Kelly, that brought out many people from California, New Mexico, Texas, other states that wanted to be a part of the Academy, which gave it this buzz before the season even started, coming off of our Division II win in 2006, setting up a very special season.
It was a very special season, definitely. It was my first year joining the Academy. It was a new drum corps to me. We had a lot of really great moments throughout the season. We got to go to America Fest at the Rose Bowl. We were the first drum corps to perform at that. I remember going to Newport Beach for a free day, and of course competing in Division I DCI championships for the first time and almost making finals. It was just a really memorable season that I will never forget.
Another highlight of the season was the San Antonio Regional, our first time competing at a regional at the Division I level. And back in those years, there was 2 shows. There's almost like a prelims and finals. And we had to go on in the afternoon at like 1 o'clock. And if I remember right, it was raining that morning, so that was awesome. And we ended up 10th place after the morning show. And so they had this big luncheon for all the corps, eating a boxed lunch somewhere in the Alamo Dome. And we're walking back to our buses, and I remember some members of another drum corps having very spirited conversation about the results of the afternoon show. And that helped fire us up, get us ready for the night show. And then of course the ASU Regional that happened the week before championships at Sun Devil Stadium on the campus of Arizona State. And it was monsoon season. The show got delayed by 15, 20 minutes at least. And we were waiting to go on, and finally we got to perform, and the winds calmed down just enough, and we got to perform in front of an electric crowd, thousands of people. And it was just such a great way to set up the final push of the season going out to Pasadena. And what better way to finish that season than finals week in SoCal. Hopefully we'll see that again someday. Come on, DCI. And it was a really special year for us, very memorable. And we're still together 13 years later, so clearly something went well in 2007.
It was okay.
I think like one of the things that made us a better tuba line that year was because of the show music. We had to do that alternating 8th note pattern. Well, I think the first thing we should probably go over, right, is the how it got started in the first place. Like we wanted to do an I&E skit that was just tubas because of how great we were, right?
I mean, it was you guys were a thing. I mean, this was when the thing became a thing, right? It's when the bottom line became the bottom line.
Well, and there were 8 returning members, and Jordan and I were the only rookies.
And all of us at that time were all in Arizona. We all kind of took it upon ourselves as like we're going to show our, we're going to strut our stuff on this. And I think we definitely all wanted to win.
I didn't think there was any shot that we were going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 10 tubas going up and doing an individual and ensemble performance. Like, what is this going to be?
That was the thing, was that there was some choreography, and the the community of the line, and the swagger was that was infectious in the room at the performance. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't anybody not having a good time because it was like this, like what?
I remember 07, like walking into that ballroom, because I was with Sam and Pat at the time, the three of us. We warmed up in like a parking deck, I think, in outside Pasadena, and we walked into this convention center. And the three of us, it was packed already, and the three of us just kind of stood in the back, and we knew like you guys were gonna come in and just kill it. And so the three of us were just like, giggling like school kids, just ready to like watch this happen. And you just like the swagger that you had when you walked in the room, it was over at that moment.
Boom.
Yeah.
Because we had the award ceremony where we decided to bring the tubas.
Do you remember that somebody actually stopped us right before we entered? She was like, "You don't need to bring your tubas," and we were like, "We know.
You're not gonna play."
Yeah.
Selecting music for this production, such an exciting process and one that we didn't take lightly, as we wanted to ensure we showcased Andy Warhol in every way that Andy was. Our musical selections include original music by Steve Vinto, Paparazzi by Lady Gaga, Billie Eilish, Everybody Hurts by REM, Rhapsody on a Theme of Paganini, which just pulls at my heartstrings every time I hear it and when I hear the drum corps play it. Music from the Velvet Underground, which he was manager of. You look it up now, that famous single banana on the album cover, we will be displaying in the show as well. We'll be using that banana in our aesthetics. So music from the Velvet Underground and music from the album Songs for Drella by Lou Reed and John Cale, which the entire album pays tribute to Andy Warhol. Drella was actually Andy Warhol's nickname that they had called him. And so this entire album, Songs for Drella, is a tribute to Andy Warhol, and we will be using small segments of that throughout it. The musical package that we're presenting is by far one of my favorite things that we've put together. So we really hope you enjoy it. Our wonderful and amazingly supportive Fruhoff uniform family, our sponsorship with them, we're just so eternally grateful. Once again, they were there with us every step of the way and helped make this vision a reality. Cannot wait to put the costumes and uniforms on the field. And so we're so excited to be here. Cannot wait to see the saturation of color and the shimmer and the shine of the drum corps uniform, which is the entire jacket is white sequins and the metallic lining, and it's just going to light up Lucas Oil Stadium. If you are here, then you get and understand that we can't do any of this without your support. Our motto here at the Academy is "The effort is the prize." Here at the Academy, we appreciate all of the support you give us, as providing a positive experience for these members and growing the next generation of human beings to send out into the world is really our true mission. Your donation today helps us do just that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting the Academy. And we cannot wait to show you Exposed 2021 this summer, Lucas Oil Stadium. Thank you so much, everyone.
You now have information. You've gone through a performance in front of an audience, and you have information on what went wrong, how did I feel, what did I want to do here, what was I successful at, and you have tomorrow to think about those things and hone and sculpt and shape all those little decisions you make in performance and how you feel. And I need to relax here. I need to rely on my technique here. I need to express more here. I need to take a risk this time, because I held back next time because I was a little bit frightened. So this time I'm going to reach further, like the staff has been asking me, and I'm going to see if I can succeed. Every time you step on the field and every time you step out in a rehearsal, in an excerpt, you evaluate your performance. What can I do better? Always thinking about the audience that you're trying to reach. And If we do that every single day, if we do that every single repetition, every single moment, both in the center stage experience and on the field, then you will grow exponentially until August 10th. Use this as a tool. I saw sensitivity. I saw expression that wasn't rushed, that was completely connected and fully embellished as the designers wanted it to be. And that will continue to grow. Take your time and put things in place where they should be. And we're going to get great.
Hi, my name is Justin Mons. I marched Academy 2006, 2012. Right now, I'm enjoying my first summer off in 16 years. Wow. Normally, I do band full-time and year-round. I'm visual staff at the Mandarins. I write drill around the country. I've taught in Arizona a bunch. And I'm a visual caption head and one of the designers at Vision Percussion, if you guys wanted my resume. My favorite part of marching 2011 Academy was just the great vibe, honestly. The members vibed with each other, the staff vibed with each other, the members and staff vibed with each other. It was one of the first years I remember where everything really felt integrated. When it was mealtime, people didn't just hang out with their individual sections. It was really cool to be a part of. My advice to new members, make as many friends as you can and cherish them for as long as those relationships last. I have been in or invited to more weddings than I can count, honestly, and all because of drum corps. The relationships have transcended more than the, 90-something days, including camps, where you're stuck in this gym or on a bus or some asphalt floor. It's really one of those things where I feel like I could call them at any moment to ask for help for something, and they, without hesitation, would do everything in their power to help. And same on the flip side, a lot of these people, I would do anything I could to be able to help them. And it's nice just to have that community last more than the 1 year you marched. They're lifetime relationships. So the more of those you can make, I really think the happier you'll be with your experience, and you'll look back on your time with the Corps and really cherish those moments like I have.
The first spark for what Phenom would become started in the summer of 2013 with the idea that all individuals, regardless of socioeconomic status, should have access to a high-quality summer marching arts experience. These core beliefs ring true to this very day. As a brand new ensemble, first taking to the field in the summer of 2014, Phenom found great success as Arizona's very first sound sport ensemble. Seeking further collaboration with arts organizations within the state, Phenom became a proud program of the Arizona Academy of the Performing Arts. While participating in the Sound Sport division of Drum Corps International, the program received the Gold Medal Award in 2017, 2018, and 2019, the highest award possible within this division. In 2020, Phenom was approved to compete in the Open Class Drum and Bugle Corps division of DCI. Unfortunately, their inaugural season as an Open Class Drum Corps was canceled because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But watch out, Phenom is coming back, and they are poised and excited to begin again in the 2022 season.
I don't think I could learn more from any other drum corps than I have here. I've learned so much from this drum corps. I have so much to thank for being here.
I'm just glad to be a part of this organization. I'm really proud to represent the Academy wherever I go, marching band competitions, whatever, wherever I go. I'm just glad. So I hope all of you guys are extremely proud to represent this organization.
Something that we say a lot on the horn line is that you need to make the choice. Make the choice to do the right thing because it's the right thing, and you don't need another reason. You do the right thing because it is the right thing to do. If you want it, go after it. There is no other option.
Doing drum corps is something that there's nothing in your life that can compare to drum corps. And you can't really explain drum corps to anyone unless they actually know what drum corps is and have been involved in the activity in some way.
The reason I march drum corps is because there is nothing better than to leave a mark on that field and in someone's heart. That is why I march drum corps, and thank you for making this my age out year.
Hi, my name is Sierra Rogers. I'm a senior at ASU studying music. I'm going into my 7th season with the Academy, and I'm from Casa Grande, Arizona. So I first auditioned at the Academy in 2011 when I was 13. Me and my brother went to the auditions together. And then in 2012, I auditioned again and I got a spot with the Corps. I marched my first 5 years on Contra, and then last year I was head drum major. It's kind of crazy how fast the Academy's grown in the time that I've been there. When I started, we were still doing auditions like during the day at Tempe Sports Complex, and we couldn't even stay overnight, and it was all outdoors. And then just seeing the progression in talent and motivation, and it's just been a lot, and it's really exciting to be able to see the growth of the organization over the last 7 or 8 years. The reason why I keep doing drum corps, and in particular why I keep staying with the Academy, is that it's kind of become a home away from home for me, and I like to think that I kind of grew up in the Academy. I mean, I started when I was so young, and the people there influenced my actions and my thought processes so much, and it's just, I feel like I owe so much to the Academy for making me more of the person that I am today than any other activity. When I first put the uniform on my rookie year, it was crazy. It was stressful because I didn't know how to tie a tie. I spent like 6 hours learning how to tie a tie. Putting on the uniform and realizing that I had made it and that I was there and I was standing with the people that I had looked up to for so long, like as their equal, and performing with them, like that was just such an incredible feeling. And then putting on the uniform and teaching people how we are in uniform and how we act and who we are as the Academy in our uniform, and the level of class and sophistication that we bring to the table. It really means a lot to me to be able to get to this point, and I feel like the uniform really shows who we are.
The effort is the prize. That's why we do this. All that you put in to this moment in time, and then moving forward through the rest of your life, it is what it's about. Putting everything you have into something and realizing the results. I couldn't be prouder. These moments mean so much to me because I know that in some way this has impacted your soul, your being, your spirit, and it's going to only shape tens and hundreds and thousands of people exponentially, the ripple effect, you and your experience here and what it means for the world. As cheesy as that means, as cheesy as that sounds, what does that mean for the world?
If this is your last performance, sweet mercy, did you go out? You felt it, right? Like you know. There was some swagger. There's some academic, sophisticated swagger as you were walking off the field. If that was your last performance, my God, you went down well. You were your best you today. You were your best you today. Some of you were your best you that you've ever been today. And not any score announcement is going to take that away from you.
Performing the 2018 program Academic. Drum Corps tonight was proud to present the Academy.
Look around and find an age out. This is their last. And I want you to tell them how much this season meant to you. It doesn't have to be about them, it has to be about how much this meant. This moment, that show, everything you did has led up to this moment and those age outs. This is their last. So thank you again.
Built it from the bottom all the way to the top. All the way to the top, baby. And I could not have enjoyed that run through more than anything else that we've done this season. There's not one thing that I would change about it. There's not one thing I would change about you and we as a team. And I'm never, ever gonna forget any of you. Thank you so much. Come here. You look like a mom.
As we bring close the story of the Academy and our 20th anniversary celebration, we find ourselves here in our offices here in Tempe, Arizona, where we moved just a few years ago. And for the first 16, 17 years, we were operating out of our homes, and so fortunate to have made the decision to elevate our operation to this beautiful office and warehouse space. Before we go today, we have a lot of thanks to give and not enough time to thank everybody who's been so impactful to our organization over time. But a few we want to make sure and point out. First, back in 2008, we joined in partnership with KHS America. We want to thank Tabor for introducing us to the idea of partnering with you, and Chris and John and Bob and all the folks at Mapex, Majestic, Marching Percussion Instruments, KHS America, family of instruments including Jupiter Marching Brass, EXO Professional Brass Instruments. Couldn't do it without you. Fruhofs, thank you so much for your love of the Academy and your partnership in the last few years. Thanks, Richard, Kenny, Landon, and hope you're doing well out there. Looking forward to get the new look out there this year in 2021. Thanks to Neil and Brian at Vic Firth and Zildjian for all of your help with the sticks and mallets and the cymbals. And we, again, couldn't do it without you. Mark Branson over at Remo and Team Remo, thank you for all that you do with the drum heads and your support with that effort. Billy, Jet Limousine, we can't wait to take the road again and spend all summer on a 56 passenger bus. Thank you so much for your support over the years. The folks at Ultimate Drill Book, DSI, and Treeworks, and all the support that you give for us. Thank you. We couldn't do it without all the support from all these folks. I want to thank Drum Corps International, Dan Atchison, CEO, Sue Keenhold in particular. The two of you have just been so supportive of the organization and not just us, but all the drum corps and the collective activity as well. We none of us would be here without the incredible leadership that you all provide. I want to make a special mention to Tom Hope as well. He was the first individual that we sat down with when we decided we wanted to become a drum corps, and he helped guide us through that process in those early years, and in fact still is a mentor today. Tom, I hope you're doing well. Wanted to give you a shout out. City of Tempe, again, we've made our home here for the last 20 years, and fortunate to have the facility that you saw at the Tempe Sports Complex. Mayor Corey Woods, thank you so much for your recent help with being able to stay there and allowing Phenom to continue to rehearse there as well. We have to say thank you so much to the music educators out there too. Boy, you've had a tough year, and we know it, and thank you for sticking with it. We couldn't do what we do without your leadership and your passion for your students. So thank you from the bottom of my heart as a third-generation music educator. I know and appreciate all the work and the love and that you put into it, the passion for your job. And lastly, as we close this out, I want to make sure you know that there is merchandise. You got exposed to the launch of the 2021 production. Right now, you can go to our website and purchase your gear for the 2021 season. So make sure you get your t-shirts. Alumni out there, if this has inspired you to get reconnected, make sure that you join the Alumni Reunion Project. We're going to get together this year. Even if you're not able to get together in person, we have a non-performing option. We have an option for performers to get together and play some of the excerpts of the music of the last 20 years. And again, I want to just put another plug out there for the support for our food trailer. If you haven't yet given support for it, please click on that donate button and get yourself involved. Donations of over $1,000 will get your name on that food truck in perpetuity. So thank you so much. And lastly, I want to make sure and raise a glass. This is our 20th anniversary glass here. We're going to raise a glass and toast for support for the 20th anniversary. So here's to the last 20 years and for another 20 years to come. Thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your weekend.